There we go. And good evening, everyone, and welcome out to Walk-Ons on a crisp Thursday night here in November. We are getting ready for Week 11, if you will. This is that third season that they talk about. You have your non-district, your district, and your playoffs, and the Trojans are in the playoffs. Heartbreaking game on Friday night a week ago, but the playoffs are here, and a lot of energy gained off of that classic game. I am Doug Gann alongside of head coach Thomas Bachman. Coach, and welcome aboard.
Glad to be here. We are. We're in. We're competing. Opportunity in front of us. Let's go make the most of it.
So many times you've told us that you're only guaranteed 10 weeks in this, and here you guys are now at the point where it is week to week. And how are they responding to that? You know, it was a tough district slate, tough season. Didn't finish record-wise where we wanted, but I think there was a lot of growth throughout. So coming off of that heartbreaking loss Friday night, how's the week been?
They were emotionally spent. You know, Monday was a tough one, and you know, but I felt like we responded the rest of the week. But there's some, you know, the emotional toll that it takes, and you know, week after week of playing in these games, and just the way that it's been, and coming up short, and you know, so we kind of pulled back a little bit. You know, tried to give them an opportunity to recover and just kind of reset a little bit. And I feel like it's been a good week. You know, so I know we're going to find out, and I'm hoping that freshening them up a little bit can carry over and carry us forward.
How did that change from the week before when you said you kind of ramped up the toughness on them a little bit? And we even heard that from the guys that were here on the show.
I don't know. You know, the thing that you really want to strive is to be consistent, but also, you know, try and get a feel for where you are and what your team needs to recover. You know, you can have a great Tuesday afternoon, but Tuesday afternoon is not really when you're winning and losing, you know, per se. You know, but I don't know, just felt like we needed to pull off of them a little bit, try and get a couple of guys healthy, and let their bodies freshen up so that we can go play this very talented, confident team that we're playing in McKinley tomorrow night.
Indeed it is. It is the Panthers of McKinley High School out of the Baton Rouge area. And there for a while until the bracket finally came out, it was St. Paul's out of the New Orleans area or McKinley out of Baton Rouge area. And not a big difference between the two places, just about an hour between the two schools. But, man, saving that hour sure is going to be a big one when it makes a trip for coming back. But I know you guys would have went down to New Orleans and played Ed in the car in the first round. It doesn't really matter who you
just
play.
Want to be in, want to get an opportunity, and we do. Chance, you know, we spent a lot of time talking about various things with our kids, with our seniors this week, with our team, and you know, the opportunities that are in front of them, and you know, that let's hit reset and let's regroup and let's get ready for this playoff. I don't know the exact number, but I know it's not many teams in the history of our school that can say that they've won playoff games, and we have an opportunity to go be one of those teams tomorrow night. I think it's 6, 7, 8 teams. Of course, you know, this group of seniors up until last year had been a part of nothing but, you know, winning some playoff games. So, you know, an opportunity to get into that and leave their own legacy behind with what they do this time of year. And you finish strong and you play well this time of year. This is what people remember.
Right. You bring up a good point. Last year's opening round playoff loss in that one. How do you take that? Because you've got Joe back at quarterback. You got a lot of guys that were around and part of that. How has this week's practice been any different than last week's? Is there that mindset, you know what, it can be one and out, so we've got to go focus on this?
Yeah, I don't necessarily think there's any more urgency. You know, I don't necessarily. I mean, yeah, I mean, the stakes are higher, but, you know, personally, I just, you know, that's not the way we operate. Like, oh, now it's the playoffs. We're going to really try hard now.
That's correct, because you've been trying hard for 10 straight.
You know, we've been trying hard all
exactly
year.
Right.
I mean, yes, I mean, it's a fun time of year. You know, been getting word that the atmosphere is going to be great, and it's that playoff. And, you know, when you go out for warm-ups, you know, that's already dark out. There's no sun setting at that point. I mean, there's things that have changed that bring to the atmosphere that I think makes this time of year really, really enjoyable, and that you are playing, to extend your season. That all certainly makes it more fun and more interesting, but I don't know that we've prepared or that we're going to try any harder than we've been trying all season. I mean, we've come up short, and anybody that pays attention can see that, but it hasn't been for a lack of want to and a lack of fight and a lack of investment from our kids. It's just that we got to make a couple more plays, and we got to do it. We got to put them in situations to make a couple more plays to come out on the other side of this. And I
guess it relies, the experience side of it is more, I guess, what I was looking at. Joe was a junior last year, very talented one, now has that playoff experience under his belt, so knows how, because you guys are playing, you got 33 sophomores on the roster this year, those guys hadn't been around it.
That's right, no. And they've been, they got a lot of experience with the people, that we've played, as you and I talked, before. We came on air, there's experience.
A lot of growing up.
Yeah, there's a lot of experience against a lot of quality teams that are going to continue to play for a while. Handle the atmosphere, handle the trip, be ready to go. But as far as once the football gets to being played, we've been in this against really good teams all year. And, it'll be another one tomorrow night. These guys have flipped it, here this year, and I'm sure that brings a certain level of energy and excitement around their own program, and they want to keep it going. And, we know that we're fixing to get, a team that's confident, a team that's athletic, with a great atmosphere that's going to battle us.
And a tremendous turnaround that McKinley has had. I think the year before they win one game is all that they had won.
I hadn't looked a whole lot at years past. I mean, I've tried to look at this year, yes, but traditionally I don't know. I had somebody out of the Baton Rouge area text me Tuesday night, Wednesday night. Can't remember, they run together. But,
right.
Hey, first playoff game they've hosted since '94. I'm hearing the atmosphere is going to be electric, which that's
what
fun.
you look for. That's
fun.
What you want.
Let's go. So, look, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what people's definition of electric is or isn't. Well, we're going to go play football tomorrow night at 7. I do know that, and we're looking forward to it. I do. I really, really think that the kids, we've had a good week. Now let's go play well. Now let's go put the whole thing together.
Well, it'll be good to not have to go up 165 anymore and take a trip down south.
We're not heading
on there.
We're not heading up. And look, there'll be no more. Let me think. There's nobody in the Monroe area that's on the select side of things.
That's right.
So the 165 trips are done for
the Shreveport area, down Baton Rouge, New Orleans. Those areas are around there. So, yeah, everything. We stay out of that northeast corner of the place. And, we're going to talk about McKinley here a little bit more. We're going to take our first break of the evening. When we come back, Coach, I want to take just a few minutes and look back at that Ouachita game and how West Ouachita game and how district went for us. I know we don't like to look backwards, but
let's do
we're just going to recap that. We'll take our first break of the evening. It is playoff eve action here. We are live from Walk-Ons. We invite you to come out and enjoy the outdoor atmosphere and check things out with us. We are live. This is the Thomas Bachman Show, brought to you by Sadler's Towing, and couldn't have done this all year without those guys. Talk about being picked up. They've picked us up all year, so we appreciate those guys. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll look back at West Ouachita, we'll look ahead at McKinley, and we'll do all of that right after this. You are watching the Thomas Bachman Show right here on 446 Sports.
It all started with a sketch on a napkin, an idea created by 2 walk-on bench warmers. And after 10 years of hard work and perseverance to turn their dream into a reality, it's the #1 sports bar in America.
Welcome to Walk-On.
Walk-Ons, because everyone needs a little playing time.
Is your vision just not as crisp and clear as it used to be? Are you having difficulty driving, especially at night? Are you over 40 and now needing reading glasses? If so, the trusted eye care team at Wallace Eye Associates is here to help with your family's eye care needs, just like we have been for nearly 40 years. Call Wallace Eye Associates today at 318-448-4488 to schedule your next eye evaluation.
The 2022 Time Dealer of the Year, Bob Giles, is now the new Hyundai dealer in Senla. Bob earned the industry's most prestigious award out of 16,000 new car dealers nationwide.
Hi, I'm Bob Giles, and I promise our team at the all-new Giles Hyundai will do everything possible to live up to the high standards that earned us this most prestigious honor. And with the utmost enthusiasm, we greatly look forward to serving you.
Our mobile banking app is changing the way we bank. Things are getting easier, transactions are getting safer, and you have access 24/7. All the functionality of banking you're used to, made easier to use, anywhere, anytime, and more secure than ever. Simple, seamless, safe. Download our mobile app today.
BK Distributors is proud to support high school athletics on 446 Sports. BK is the one-stop shop for trophies, banners, awards, letter jackets, and just about anything award-related. And now, welcome BK Apparel and BK Promotions to the family for all your spirit apparel needs and anything you need to brand your business. When you think of anything you need with your name on it, think BK. Check them out on Facebook or at bkdistrib.com. BK Distributors, Apparel and Promotions in Pineville.
For a lifetime of the best possible vision, look to Wallace Eye Associates, where our tradition of eye care excellence in Senla spans nearly 40 years. From your next family eye exam to cataract and glaucoma evaluations, trust your vision to the experienced eye professionals at Wallace Eye Associates. Call Wallace Eye Associates today at 318-448-4488 to schedule your next eye evaluation.
Buying car insurance for the first time can be overwhelming. Do you have enough coverage? Are you paying too much? Will someone be there for you when the unexpected happens? I'm Jason Hawk with Farm Bureau Insurance. You may think it's easier online, but why wait? We're here to help you make sure you're covered. When it comes to car insurance, we have the answers, and we may have rates that save you money. So talk to Hawk at 318-791-HAWK or online at talktohawk.com and let us help you protect your biggest investments.
Wherever you are, you're there for a reason. You shouldn't have to make a trip to the branch to deposit a check. Skip the trip and use our mobile app to easily and securely deposit checks right from your phone. Day or night, wherever you are, or whatever you're doing. Download our mobile app today.
Appliance Parts Company in Alexandria has all your major appliance parts needs. We sell parts to all major appliances as well as new appliances, including window units, chest, and upright freezers. Appliance Parts originally opened its doors on Lee Street in 1972, and we're now open at a new location on Memorial Drive to serve you better. Stop by, say hey to our crew, and check out our awesome holiday gifts. Appliance Parts, 2208 Memorial Drive in Alexandria next to Target. Open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, and Saturday from 9 till 12.
And we are back live to Walk-Ons, another beautiful Thursday night. No more Tuesday night shows and Wednesdays or any of that.
Should be on Fridays from here on.
5 more weeks we've got of it, and excited to do that. Week 1 of the playoffs, the Trojans finish the season at 4-6. I know it's tough to say, Coach, and the one Friday night, I mean, we had 5-5 right in your hand, and but it wouldn't have made a lot of difference in where we went, I don't think, in the playoffs. But, man, the emotion of that game from the very start of it to halftime when you and I spoke, just to the end of the game, the 2-point conversion there. Let's give our folks that are listening, as if they haven't watched it already, a little bit of a recap on that game Friday.
Take the opening drive right down the field, score, get the 2-point, 8-0, and then they respond and go right back down. I mean, we had every possession. We entered the red zone. Those 2 first-half possessions, scored on the first one, and then the second and third one, we missed a field goal on possession number 2 and stall inside the 5 on possession number 3, but moved the ball. I think we had 55 plays for 585 yards, so over 10 yards every time we snapped the ball. and those were the only possessions we had. They put together long, sustained, a lot of third down, fourth down conversions that ate the clock, and we just couldn't get off the field. And before you know it, it's you're 21-8 at half, and then they take the opening drive and go right down the field and score on us. It's 28-8, and you're like, "Oof!"
Right.
And then look, to our kids' credit, next thing you know, we look up and we're up 29-28. And
we did make a comment that we had them right where we wanted them when we got down 3 scores.
Yeah,
I said,
no
this
doubt.
is where we.
No doubt. And the reverse that they hit after we took the lead to one play 80 yards.
It goes 80 yards on it. To the Clampett kid, who's once he was in the open field, he's got 4.5 speed, and he was
once then it was going to be okay. Here we go. It's going to be one of these back and forths here. Let's keep answering. But that obviously there's a lot of big moments when you go through the thing.
The big play down at the
end.
The big play down at the end, that Ethan comes up and makes a tackle
to get the game to overtime.
Was just so emotional. And we talk about, he was on the show last week, and just a very articulate, well-spoken young man, and plays with such fire when he's out on the field. To see the emotion that he had after that stop was great to see.
A senior that's, missed some times, both last year as a junior and this year as a senior with a high ankle sprain. So having him back out there as a senior, and you know what you're going to get from Ethan, high character kid. One of our kids that's a program kid. So know what you're going to get. But yeah, I thought that the field goal team was going to trot out there and they were going to try and end it with the field goal. But I guess. Fortunate for us, that's not what they chose.
So up in the booth, we're talking to the radio guys, and I'm doing my best announcer jinx on it already. It's like, well, there's no way they don't trot out a kid, and he kicks it. He's been great all year, and they look at me like he's not attempted one all season.
Gotcha.
So they don't have a field goal kicker, but their extra point, their PAT guy was there, but had not attempted. Right.
Then it was actually closer than but it's from the hash. Look, there's a lot. I don't know.
You got an angle at it.
I don't know their situation like they knowed it.
Right.
They made a call. I'm certainly not going to second guess, the decision. It gave us an opportunity to make the stop, and we did. And
That's
so
right.
we get into overtime there, and it's, they score, we score, they score, and it's going to come down to a 2-point play. Feel like we've, and then they made it. They made the 2-point play, and got to give them credit.
And that's what, we talked to the radio guys up in the booth there before that, and that's what they said that we were going to see a lot of. And you and I talked about it pregame or on the show last week, that the offensive coordinator has come from West Monroe, and you saw that. You saw that type of offense out of West Washita, out of West Monroe, out of Washita. It just seems to be that northeast brand of football.
Yeah, Glenn did a really good job of with some of the schemes they were doing, how they were blocking some things, and then the kids competed their tail off. So no, I've got a lot of respect for him, and always have, always will. Does a great job. I can't remember that. I know they carried. I think they had 63 rushes the other night. It was a lot of carries that they had, and it comes down to third and fourth down. You got to get off the field on third and fourth down, and we could not get off the field. Get those stops that we needed on third and fourth down, and that just extends drives, and there goes a couple more minutes off the clock, and you just make them comfortable. There's a bunch that you can look back on, and you pick it all apart. If we we score, they score. If we go right back down the field and we stick that one into the end zone, what's it? And then we just had opportunities in every phase of the game, and right there, and very disappointing. Nobody's more disappointed than the kids. You could see it in their face and their emotions right after the game, and we were nervous that that was the end of it.
And I'll tell you,
that was kind of the way it felt. And
being able to spend some time there in the locker room and on the field after the game, you saw that pure emotion, and that was one of the points that I was making too. Is that seeing the fire that Ethan had when he made the play, and then, on the bench to the right side of the door that goes to the locker room, I'm able to talk to him post game, and he just the tears, and they wasn't. It was real ugly tears.
Yep.
And I had an opportunity to sit there and talk to him, and I said, look, this is not the end. You guys are going to be in there and use this to go fight off of it.
Thank God for our strength of schedule, carried us through. A lot of people we've played, they have a lot of wins, so. It carried us through and it got us in, and it gets us to this matchup tomorrow night to try and make all things right. Give us another week where we can spend it together as the 2022 football team and try and go earn another one after that, and so on and so forth. And you can be proud and disappointed all in the same breath,
right.
in a lot of ways. But look. Those things are hard to get over. You take them real hard, and I guess it was a lot of fun to kind of realize late Friday night, early Saturday morning, it looks like we're going to get another chance. So, as coaches,
I told y'all, I told you you was going to be there no matter what, that you were going to be in there.
Yeah, well, we didn't necessarily look at it from the other side,
Right, I know.
But look, yeah, so it was fun to kind of say, all right, who's it look like we're going to be preparing for, so that you can.
You get ready to
go to work. On, you get focused on something else. That last game of the year, however it is, if you're not holding the trophy, is just for years and years has been one, that you just go back and you think about, and I mean it's hard. And I was talking with some other coaches this week, and they're like, man, I don't know what to do with myself right now. I'm not
right.
I'm not preparing because it is. It's 7 days a week. It's the majority of your day. It's consuming your thoughts of preparing and scripting and getting practice ready to go, and the information you got to teach. So it was fun for us to. I say fun. It was good for us as coaches to be able to wake up on Saturday and start throwing ourselves into a playoff opponent, trying to get ready, trying to gather as much information as you can.
That's right.
And so that was good. We were able to get over it by moving on to something else.
Well, when we come back, we're going to stay on this. We're not going to move on to something else just quite yet. I want to recap the season and what your thoughts are on the opponents that you had. And we talked about it a little bit before that the majority of them are in the playoffs with opportunities to move on as well. So we're gonna look back at the schedule just a little bit before we start talking about McKinley. We're going to do all of that when we come back. You are watching the Thomas Bachman Show, brought to you by Sadler's Towing, right here from Walk-Ons on 446 Sports.
It all started with a sketch on a napkin. An idea created by two walk-on bench warmers. And after 10 years of hard work and perseverance to turn their dream into a reality, it's the #1 sports bar in America.
Welcome to Walk On.
Walk-ons, because everyone needs a little playing time.
Is your vision just not as crisp and clear as it used to be? Are you having difficulty driving, especially at night? Are you over 40 and now needing reading glasses? If so, the trusted eye care team at Wallace Eye Associates is here to help with your family's eye care needs, just like we have been for nearly 40 years. Call Wallace Eye Associates today at 318-448-4488 to schedule your next eye evaluation.
The 2022 Time Dealer of the Year, Bob Giles, is now the new Hyundai dealer in Senla. Bob earned the industry's most prestigious award out of 16,000 new car dealers nationwide.
Hi, I'm Bob Giles, and I promise our team at the all-new Giles Hyundai will do everything possible to live up to the high standards that earned us this most prestigious honor. And with the utmost enthusiasm, we greatly look forward to serving you.
Our mobile banking app is changing the way we bank. Things are getting easier, transactions are getting safer, and you have access 24/7. All the functionality of banking you're used to, made easier to use, anywhere, anytime, and more secure than ever. Simple, seamless, safe. Download our mobile app today.
BK Distributors is proud to support high school athletics on 446 Sports. BK is the one-stop shop for trophies, banners, awards, letter jackets, and just about anything award-related. And now, welcome BK Apparel and BK Promotions to the family for all your spirit apparel needs and anything you need to brand your business. When you think of anything you need with your name on it, think BK. Check them out on Facebook or at bkdistrib.com. BK Distributors, Apparel and Promotions in Pineville.
For a lifetime of the best possible vision, look to Wallace Eye Associates, where our tradition of eye care excellence in Cenla spans nearly 40 years. From your next family eye exam to cataract and glaucoma evaluations, trust your vision to the experienced eye professionals at Wallace Eye Associates. Call Wallace Eye Associates today at 318-448-4488 to schedule your next eye evaluation.
Buying car insurance for the first time can be overwhelming. Do you have enough coverage? Are you paying too much? Will someone be there for you when the unexpected happens? I'm Jason Hawk with Farm Bureau Insurance. You may think it's easier online, but why wait? We're here to help you make sure you're covered. When it comes to car insurance, we have the answers, and we may have rates that save you money. So talk to Hawk at 318-791-HAWK or online at talktohawk.com and let us help you protect your biggest investments.
Wherever you are, you're there for a reason. You shouldn't have to make a trip to the branch to deposit a check. Skip the trip and use our mobile app to easily and securely deposit checks right from your phone. Day or night, wherever you are, or whatever you're doing. Download our mobile app today.
Appliance Parts Company in Alexandria has all your major appliance parts needs. We sell parts to all major appliances as well as new appliances, including window units, chest, and upright freezers. Appliance Parts originally opened its doors on Lee Street in 1972, and we're now open at a new location on Memorial Drive to serve you better. Stop by, say hey to our crew, and check out our awesome holiday gifts. Appliance Parts, 2208 Memorial Drive in Alexandria next to Target. Open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, and Saturday from 9 till 12.
And we are back live to walk-ons here on a Thursday night, week one of the playoffs, round one, if you will. Chuck, and we'll take a look at our graphic that is up there, and you can see there are three teams that we covered this season. Buckeye had a good season but did not make the playoffs on there. You see the Ash broadcast is there. And all you got to do is go to 446sports.com, and you can click on that broadcast right there. You don't even have to go over to the high school tab. You can click right there, and it'll bring up the Ash McKinley game. While you're there, check out Coach Justin Charles and the Menard Eagles as they travel to play Parkview Baptist. The Eagles, the Battle of Eagles, guaranteed. Yep. Guaranteed the Eagles are going to win that game. That's the age-old easy one on there. But you see the sponsors that are around there, and we certainly appreciate all of the work that they did at bringing you these games each and every week. You see pregame will go on the air at 6:30. Kickoff is going to be at 7 o'clock, and we've got 4 more of those graphics set and ready to go. All we need is the Trojans' opponent all the way. We're going to cover throughout the entire way. Up at the top of it, there's a game archives button. Click on that and click on the graphic that is up at the top. It will take you to our YouTube channel. And Chuck, how many views has our YouTube channel had in the last 28 days?
A bunch.
92,261.
That equals a bunch in my math book.
That equals a bunch in your math book, and we owe it all to all of you that have been watching from around the way. Coach, back to the game with McKinley in just a minute, but I want to look the Trojans, and you grimace a little bit every time we say that they were 4-6 on the season, and anybody that's outside the program just looks at it and said, oh, Ash is down this year because he didn't go 8-2 or 7-3. They went 4-6. But tell me a little bit about the strength of the opponents that you've played all the way back to Acadiana and Neville in the scrimmages.
Yeah, no, I mean, if you look at look, we've competed. We've been right there. I mean, Acadiana is a top 10 seed. Neville's the number 2 seed. We're a scrimmage. Karen Crow's got a bye. That was week 1.
Right.
St. Thomas More's the number 1 seed in their playoff bracket. That's week 2. Week 4, East Ascension's playing at home. They play West Washita. But Another one, West Monroe's at home. Ouachita's going down to Hahnville, and Ruston's the number 1 seed. So, played a lot of great competition this year, and it's been a lot of fun.
Right.
I mean, to prepare for them and know that you have to coach and play your best, and I feel like it's hopefully it's brought out some of the best. It's brought out the competitor, the ones that are competitors for sure, and hopefully that pays dividends for us as we go down there to McKinley tomorrow night, and just the quality of competition.
Well, yeah, but if you look back and you dive into these games, look at the team overall. So you had a very young offensive line. They grew up immeasurably this season. Defense had some questions in it too. They've rallied around some things that they've done. But you can go back to each game that was in there that's one of those 6 losses and point to about 1 or 2 plays that really made a difference in it.
Yeah, Ruston's really the only one in the second half of the fourth quarter where it's not, a play here or a play there, a possession, a stop, a score, and you got an opportunity to win the game. Ruston's really the only one that pulled away and separated. It comes down to some of the last possessions in every single game.
But you also had that Brian Kelly type quote in that one, is that you didn't come there just to play it close. You were out there trying to win the game, and sometimes that's a result of that.
Yeah, no doubt. And it's the way we're always going to do it. We're not going to. Yeah, it's the way we're always going to do it, and our kids have bought into that. And, we've spent some time kind of talking to them and, trying to get them to put some things in perspective, and the opportunity as we started the show that they have in front of them of, that there's not many people that can say that they've won playoff games. I mean, much less just our school, but I would even say here in Central Louisiana, they have an opportunity to get into a smaller group than they even realize. So we talked about that of let's get prepared for this, and I think they did.
Well, the one thing that is certain on there as I look at it, the playoff opponents that you'll face are not tougher than those that you've ran into in district and those that you had in non-district and back to the scrimmages is on there. So it's not like you roll into week 1 of the playoffs, round 1 of the playoffs, and say, oh, this is a juggernaut that we haven't seen something like this.
You find yourself in a tight ball game, it's going to be, feels like another week.
Been here, done this.
That's the whole thing. And yeah, no doubt, tight ball game, where it's going to come down to a couple of plays here and there. It's been all year for us, and, make a couple of plays, put them in situations, make a couple plays, and then things go our way. And spend a lot of time talking, coaches, kids, all that. This time of year, you got to find a way to win.
That's right.
1 point, 50 points, it gets you one more. You move on, you survive, and you move on, or not necessarily survive. I mean, obviously, you want to play your best ball, but yes, you find a way to win and you move on.
You go into a very spirited house down there in Baton Rouge to face the Panthers of McKinley. I think it's been since 1994 since they've hosted a playoff game. Somebody told me that earlier. I did the research there. And you face the running back core of 2 and 24 that are really going to test your defense a little bit. Tell me about what we expect when we go to McKinley.
Yeah, really good players, tough players. They're, formationally, they're like everybody, it seems, in today's football. They look similar to us. We attach a tight end a little bit more than they do. They don't really play their tight end off the ball or 20 personnel tight end, split gun, 10 personnel, 4 wide. But 2 and 24 are 2 really good backs that can score. They're running every version of counter that you can imagine. They're running GT counter. They're running CT counter. They're running guard and fullback counter. They're running a bunch of variations of counter. They're running split zone. And then they have 6 and 13 and 4 and 6 and 13 especially. They're going to chunk it up, chunk it deep to them, and they have the size and the length and the ability to go take the ball out of the air in one-on-one situations. So,
but you've got 4 and you got 3 and 6 and 11 and 1 and 14 and 85. You've got a lot of weapons offensively, and it was on display because you guys put up a lot of points that are out there. So how does that offense work against their D?
They base out of the odd. They'll get down and play a little bit of bear. But, we see the odd every day as far as, from a structure every day out of our own defense. So it's something that, we are familiar with, and the kids understand, how to attack that structure of defense. So, there's some familiarity there that makes us, hopefully comfortable when we get into tomorrow night. I know that they're going to have their wrinkles and their twists and their the things that they've schemed based on what they've seen out of us in film. But, no, I mean, we need our best players to go play their best football, and we certainly feel comfortable with the ones that we're gonna stick out there. You mentioned the offensive line. A young group at the beginning of the year that has grown up each and every week, and playing with some confidence and some belief, and they're going. We don't ever question whether or not they're going to play hard. We might give up a little bit of size in some spots, but feel like that group's played well and played hard, and going to need them to do it again tomorrow night. And hopefully, we perform, having the ability to put pressure on you sideline to sideline vertically, feel good about, our backs and the ability to run the football as we have all year. Want to do a good job of figuring out what they're doing and getting the ball to these guys' hands, get Mingo his touches, get Datlin and Jalen and all these guys, make them to defend a bunch of skilled guys, not just one particular.
Look, you almost don't have enough footballs. I was trying to pull up my stats, but my phone is and I won't say it's usually there, but my phone's a dummy. But look at it. It's 1,290 yards that Cunningham has carried for, and many touchdowns on the season.
I think he's at 19.
Yes, and he's got another 208 yards through the air, so he's right at 1,500 yards from scrimmage. He said that he wanted to be at 2,500 on the season. I said, well, get us to the Dome, and we'll get it there without a doubt. But how important is it to go out and establish that ground game and have him breaking the tackles that he does that leads to you being able to wear him down?
No, that's a huge part of it, getting the ground game established and getting him going, and certainly opens up the rest of it when people have to account for how they're going to get extra hats to stop the run. And so if we can we can get that rolling, I mean, it certainly opens up a lot of other things, and create some one-on-one or some more favorable matchups where you can't get outnumbered out on the edge when they're having to concentrate on that. And, so obviously without, I know it seems obvious. I mean, I don't know what seems obvious, to be honest with you, for people that are listening, or how many people understand, the schemes. Offensive line is smaller and athletic, so using things to their advantage. We ran on more pin and pull than we've ran really ever. I mean, and that's just trying to, what personnel do we have and what are the things that they're good at? And this group is really, really good at that. Use their athleticism and speed, getting up to multiple levels, creating angles for the guys so that they can get some leverage, and it's been a lot of fun. I think that they have a pretty good grasp of it, and
the growth of Townsend, 83 this year, has been solid, and that's allowed you to bring more of a true tight end in along with an H-back and have that bigger offensive line. How has that helped what you've been able to do running the football?
Well, I mean, the ability to be multiple in the personnel groupings that you get into gives people more things that they have to prepare for. Of course, you can, you add JT to the mix too. So we've got two backs, two tight ends, and, we've got some receivers. So, I don't know. I'm pretty sure people would say, hey, they're tendency heavy in this stuff. And you're probably right. Yeah, you got tendencies for a reason, means that you're good at some stuff. And, I'm very, very pleased with Tanner's progress and feel like he's going to do nothing but get better. The more ball he plays, the more he matures, the more we we develop ourselves in the weight room. And, as we talk about this game and all that's really the thing for us is you evaluate our program, where we are, where we need versus where we need to be is, there's got to be a commitment where we devote ourselves and recommit ourselves to the development side of, the way our players should look. I think to pre-COVID, that those groups in 18, 19,
right.
That group in 20 and the way that they looked physically versus when we trot out on the field right now, the way that we look physically, we have a ways to go in the development side. Some of these kids are young. You mentioned the number of sophomores that we have. And
between your freshmen and sophomores, you've got 80 guys that are out there.
I think we got 47 freshmen right now, 33 sophomores. We're at 21 juniors. We got 15 seniors. So,
and you've not seen that type of a class.
The development side of things. But if I'm all for, our kids are involved in every single sport and a lot of sports, and that's all great. But if we're not going to make a commitment to the development, we're kidding ourselves if we think we're going to compete in the top classification in the state of Louisiana against these people. That's we do an evaluation as the season's not over, but we wrap up the regular season and we're talking about all this. There's from a strength and conditioning and a nutrition standpoint, we've got to take a long, hard look at where we are as a school, as a program, and recommit to those things. Because when we were competing and winning against these people, when we sent our kids out on the field, they looked the part and they played the part because of what they had done in changing the presentation of themselves and the way that they just physically looked. It gets a confidence, and it's something that these sophomores certainly have the opportunity to do, but there is no guarantee.
That's right.
You have to go do the work, and so that'll be a big point of emphasis with the and it's just got my mind thinking on Tanner. I think Tanner's got a chance to be a special one. JT's got a chance to be a really special one, and Jimmy, and I just think there's not a kid that as I start naming these guys. I mean, Justin Hesney played last year, 150-pound kid playing inside backer in our league, and he'll go. He's got contact courage. He will go run into whatever. He's got no fear in him. But we're not physically where we need to be to compete at this level. So we've got to, as a school and as a program, we've got to do our job of making that priority number one.
And Coach, that's not an in-season install only. That's a 365 days a year commitment to their body. Because anybody you hear guys talking in college level and talking in the pros is they talk about their body and what they're doing with it and what they're putting into it as much as you do any type of a car or a truck or anything that's out there.
We're constantly looking to find ways where we can improve. Last Thursday you got an opportunity to meet. Harley has been coming around, and I know he's really good with movements and hip mobility and hip flexibility and ankle flexion and the foundation pieces of what a young athlete needs as far as movement skills. So, we're constantly trying to explore that, make that something where we're educating ourselves so that we can prepare our kids. But
how do you dip down and educate the younger programs, those middle school kids and that? And
it's a good question. I don't know. I'm not going to jump into everything. I think I've made myself very plain and very clear about how I feel about some of that stuff. But regardless of where it comes from, we're going to do our part with the things that we can control. And there is going to be a little bit of that as we go. You get to where you branch out and you're trying to do things and move things along. But if people ain't going to get on board and they ain't going they don't want to do it, fine, we'll insulate ourselves like we were when we were building this thing into a contender where we'll re-insulate, and the people that want to be a part, it ain't going to stop us from doing what we're going to do, even if other people don't want to do. They won't pay lip service to what's right and what's wrong. They can do all that they want.
I know.
It excites me again about, that's fine. Let's build the walls.
That's right.
Let's shut the doors and let's go
to work. That's right.
And that's always been, but a refocus. You get your hands in 10 pots. All right, let's get our hands back in these couple of pots right here.
And let's do that. Let's go back and block and tackle
and let's go. Right. And feel really good. I mean, I'm excited about tomorrow night. I mean, the opportunity that we have to go. There ain't a whole lot of people going to be playing here in a week.
You're exactly
Even
right.
less are going to be playing the next week. And we have an opportunity to be one of those people, regardless. And, yeah, I mean, it does. It makes
There'll
our
be
kids
16 teams left in Division I.
It makes our kids want to throw up. I mean, nobody wants to look at the 4 and 6. I'm proud of who we've played. I'm proud of how we've competed. I'm disappointed in the results. And I know that as we finish this year strong, what happens in November is what's going to carry you into the offseason. I say November and December. And, I think our kids are ready to meet the challenge and excited about the opportunity that we have tomorrow night. And then us as a coaching staff is excited about what this group is going to do here in the coming weeks and what we're fixing to do as we recommit ourselves to the things that we can control.
That's right.
And developing this thing, and it's fixing to be fun again.
That's right. Chuck, I think did you have something?
I was just going to add a point to what you were talking about, the nutrition and the fundamentals of what they know, and not just teaching them what to do at school, but also for them to buy in that now when they're away from school and in the summer.
It's all day.
And then that maybe communicate to the younger crowd.
Absolutely.
So now they become conditioning of themselves and a much stronger person in whole, not just in what they're eating and what they're doing. Yeah, putting that
these
stuff
things
down.
Up and going to sleep, putting the phone down as I pull mine out every Thursday night and check scores.
I know.
And,
I didn't want to go there, Coach.
I'm surprised Kim's not looking over here.
I just wonder if Kim has that problem if he's on the phone.
I will get to saying things around the house about the phones and and they like to throw it back at me because I'm on my phone a lot too. But I mean, it occupies a lot of your time, and we talk to our kids all the time. And I know where I'm off on a tangent like I get, but knowing what to do. I mean, everybody knows what to do to improve.
Right.
That's not the hard part. There's no secret out there. All of us know what we need to do. If you say, hey, I want to be, simple things. There's a Coke, there's a water. What's better for you as an athlete? Mm-hmm. The hard part is having the discipline to choose the right things, to do the right things, to get the rest, to eat the right foods, to train, to study, because this can be entertaining. Yep. You can play a game and you can get lost in it. And look, there's time for leisure. I mean, they need to be kids. I'm not sitting here saying all that, but the hard part is disciplining yourself to do it every single day, day after day. Progress is slow.
Right.
And it's daily. I don't know, it might have been Tim and Brian Knight that I got that from. I don't know if anybody listening, anybody paying attention. Those guys, they teach leadership.
Right.
Focus 3. It's incredible. They got some great stuff. But, it's amazing when you discipline yourself day after day, day after day, day after day. You don't wake up tomorrow and you're a different person, but you wake up a month from now, 6 months from now, a year from now, or for some of these young kids' case, in August of next year, and you're not the same person that you were today. There's been some development, and it's development. And look, we want to continue to play because every day we get on the practice field is a day we get to continue that development, and get a leg up. I mean, you look at a program like Edna Carr, who's played for us at Evangel back in the day. I mean, I played almost 60 high school football games when I was at Evangel. I mean, most people that play in high, I mean, I had a whole extra season of practice and development over, and for some people, I had a season and a half in a high school career because you play for so long. So you look at those kids at like Carr and I just got a lot of respect for the job they do down there.
Absolutely.
And they've been able to sustain it. But that's a lot of extra practice time. That's a lot of extra development time because they've sustained success for a long time. And so, we want to win because there's a winner and a loser, and we're competitive people, and it don't matter whether it's, whatever, we want to win. But the benefits of that is we get to continue to develop, the kids that are in our program.
I think what gets lost in it all is that you're changing daily. Are you going to change for the good? Or are you going to regress?
Absolutely.
Because believe it or not,
it's a battle.
I didn't get 10 pounds overweight. Just stop. Just
Something about that pulled pork from last Friday.
See,
too.
that's what. Yeah, we'll get away. No, you're changing one way or the other.
Yeah, when you talked about the young ones, and that's kind of where I see us as a program and a team as we move, and it's time to recommit to the things that are important. And if we're not going to do that, we need to, we're kidding ourselves, if we think that who doesn't want to win a championship every year?
That's right.
That ain't what separates people. I think it was Muhammad Ali said everybody's got the will to win. Few people have the will to prepare to win. And look, so I don't know how I got off on all that. It just gets you going.
Because we're talking football, and that's just how it goes.
Well, you're talking kids, and
that's
you're talking
right.
development.
That's
and you're talking, this stuff's going to serve them long beyond playing high school football. The ability to commit to something, it's not immediate gratification. It's not happening today. This goal that you have is long off in the future, and it's why I'm so proud of, Tay Frazier, Ethan White,
right.
Joe Bordelon, Datlin Cunningham, James Harrington, Ronan Gonzalez, Omarion Mack, Coop. I'm trying to run through all 14 of them. It's why you're proud of all 14 of these seniors is they've continued to show up in the face of disappointment, of some adversity. They hadn't ran, and I guarantee you they've wanted to, through all this and maybe what they have to listen to of, all that.
And understanding things, too, because –
they have an opportunity to write the last chapters.
That's right. Well, Jay was on the show a week ago. And Jay's one of
to
those that you don't call out a lot on there, but his dedication and determination was there. It was as much as anybody that had been out there.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm concentrating on what Jay, Bryce, it's 14 of them.
Right.
And they all deserve to have
Jeremiah
their name said. Is a junior.
Yep,
Jeremiah's
that's right.
a junior.
Well, that's as much as these seniors going out, you've got a bunch of younger guys that are coming up.
I should be able to. I'm trying to picture senior night right there. I know it's anyway.
And look, it's difficult to do. We were going to, about 15 minutes ago, take our final break of the night. We're not going to do that. Well, no, we'll end it out of here after that. But I do want to go and talk special teams just a little bit. We talked about it left to right and right to left. The kickoffs do change a little bit on there. But the last couple of extra points that were kicked were hammered through the uprights. It's like there was no lack of anything. And Joe's been kicking the ball well.
It's been up and down on special teams. As you think back, there's been some bright moments where we've certainly won that phase of the game, and then there's within the same game, it's like, golly, and we didn't take advantage of that. We've stole possessions. Both Bodie's a junior, Channing's a sophomore. Those guys are going to be with us for a while as they continue to develop.
And the legs just get stronger and technique gets better.
The ability to just put the ball on the tee and bomb it into the end zone. And,
we saw Caden, we saw Abel go to camps during their season and just get that technique and get that training and just come back and make such a difference kicking the ball.
Joe's punted the ball well this year.
I think he's been the best punter that's come through there in a long time.
He's punted the ball really well. On the times where we quick kick with our offense, we've pinned the opponent inside the 2 twice. Kickoff return, we hadn't busted one yet. Probably me. That's one of the ones that I'm heavily involved with, or run, I could do a better job. I mean, JT and those guys certainly have the opportunity they certainly have the ability to go if we could just get them sprung. But
give me an update on Darius, because he had, as a sophomore, was returning kicks for us, and he goes out mid-season, I guess, with a back injury. Is there an update on Darius?
Probably won't have him the rest of this year, regardless of how long we play. Was thought to be really, really severe, and something with his a bulging disc, or it's just really bad. Injury with the spine, and with a kid that's just a sophomore, you're going to be overly precautious.
You err on the
with
side
him.
of caution by all means. That's right.
He's still got some time with us, and we miss him. That field position. I mean, he did a phenomenal job of catching that ball, and
good decision making.
We've lost his depth. I mean, he was rotating at receiver. We've lost his depth at receiver.
Right.
So
but you guys have thrown the ball to a lot of people. I mean, we've seen Johnson catch it. We've seen Mingo catch it. We've seen Scott Jones. Even Eric gets the touchdown.
So you got Eric Jones,
EJ
you got Scott, you got Jalen. Coop caught a touchdown.
Jimmy is there, and
Jimmy Duncan's gonna. I think a lot of Jimmy. I really do.
A plethora of receivers.
Yeah, Jimmy loves football.
You could tell it. Well, when he was on the show,
that obviously makes me, being but I do the kids that really love it.
Right.
Not like it, not playing because their friends are playing, and there's all different motivators. The people that love the game. Mingo loves the game of football. Right. He loves to compete, and it makes you, love those. And
you saw that out of JT and Jimmy when they were on the show as well. And so there's a great
experience
group
being gotten. And tomorrow night, playoff atmosphere, gonna continue that. And I want everybody to understand is we talk about the future and all these things. I mean,
but the future's right now. The future's tomorrow night.
We're not. Our kids have prepared. Our coaches have prepared to go get in a ball game tomorrow night and play to win. Just like they're going to play to win. I'm not right now. I mean, we're excited about these opportunities, but I am thinking as a program.
Well,
I'm excited. I'm excited, and I'm ready to do just what I said.
What time do the kids come? Because you're out of school tomorrow. No.
Kids, we got a team meeting tomorrow at noon. We'll be on the bus, and we'll meet as a team, cover some things about travel and just some things that we need to cover, get their mind right, get them focused in. That'll happen at 12. About 1 o'clock, we'll pull out. We'll go to Piccadilly and Baton Rouge. We'll eat, and then we're going to go. Coach Semino at Catholic Baton Rouge has been really gracious and allowed us. We're going to go to their place and kind of relax and dress and tape.
Is he going to scout a little bit while you're there practicing?
Last year before the season started, last year we they met with Ouachita halfway and scrimmaged at our place. Right. And so, we were certainly standing right there on the sideline. It's his place.
It's those relationships, though, Coach, that these kids carry with them for a lifetime.
Yep, and same thing for us as coaches. You try to be good to people because you never know when you're going to – well, because you want to be good to people because you respect the job that they're doing. You know what they're going through, and people have certainly been good to us, and we're very thankful that Catholics are going to let us come relax a little bit and dress and tape there. So –
well, we're grateful that you take time out on Thursday nights to come out and visit with us. Certainly the crowd that has made it here tonight, grateful to see all of them out here as well. I hate to see that TV got broke a few weeks ago, I guess. I don't know.
That one's going to be a really good one.
I can't see that far. I can't see past Chuck, Coach.
He's a freshman. That's Grayson Thibodeau. He's going to be a really good one.
There you go. The future is bright, but the future is tomorrow night as your Trojans travel down to Baton Rouge. Yes, there is a stop at Billy's in there for some chicken cracklings for this crew that's going down. I can tell you that. I don't know what y'all are doing, but we'll stop at Billy's and get some chicken cracklings. So
have a couple for me.
Look, indeed, I'm not joking. Indeed, I will. That's I didn't get 8 pounds overweight for nothing. Let's just see how I've lost 2 pounds since we've been sitting here.
because of the chicken cracklings or in general?
I'm just that's Coach, stop. This is my show.
It's your turn to put him on the spot.
No, they're great. I know exactly what you're talking about. I'll be right there with you. It's like I'm only gonna have one more.
An hour
later, I'm only gonna have one more.
So when I'm coming back, and my wife tells me, and Kim, don't tell my wife these stories because she doesn't watch the show, so she doesn't hear the stories that I tell about her. But she'll come back. She said, "Are you stopping by Billy's?" I was like, "Well, I don't know. I hadn't thought about it." She's like, "Yeah, you had." She said, "Stop by and bring me back some chicken cracklings as well." I can only tell you what the bag looks like when I get back. And I was like, "Baby, they were out." Yeah. That's right. And look, so I've got a little bit in my beard here, and my puppy dogs are all on me, so they know what I've had. And she's just over there shaking her head at me.
Yep, no doubt.
But then I bring out the other bag that I'd brought.
No doubt.
So that,
and I'm wondering how many times I got blamed. Chuck must have been riding, and he kept dipping his hand in there.
That's the truth.
I'll tell you, and I've told you on this show, Coach, plenty of times, there's not one problem at my house that I don't cause. And I can firmly stand behind that. And if I don't get out of the show right now, she'll get mad when I don't bring her supper because she's having one of those. What was it that you had with the chicken and the
lemon butter chicken?
Look,
Kim's,
I always thought the buffalo chicken sandwich is good because you get the 2 pieces of chicken on there. But come try that lemon butter chicken. It's on grits, and I don't need meat grits. I know I'm gonna get run out of the South for not doing it, but I've never eat a grit in my life, and still not going to do it. But anyway, come out to walk-ons. They're the ones that put up with us all throughout the season, Coach. We'll be back here next week as we're getting ready for round 2 of the playoffs, and we hope to see all of you out here as well. My man Ernie's here, and Coach. He ate the grits, too. So there you have it. My man Chuck that pushes the buttons, we appreciate that as well. And everybody that made it out tonight, don't tell my wife any of the stories that I told you. Go ahead, Coach Thomas Bachman. I am Doug Gann. God bless you all and good night. We'll see you tomorrow night.